You are being watched. The government has a secret system, a machine that spies on you every hour of every day. I know because I built it. I designed the machine to detect acts of terror, but it sees everything. Violent crimes involving ordinary people, people like you. Crimes the government considered irrelevant. They wouldn't act, so I decided I would. Hunted by the authorities. We work in secret. You'll never find us. But victim or perpetrator, if your number's up, we'll find you.
Hi, Steve here. I've done videos in the past about this topic of total control over the people of a country. And the first major country to display what it will be like in a one-world government is the country of China. In America, we have the control of credit bureaus. If I have a low score, I can't buy anything on credit. I can't qualify to buy a home, a car, or I can't get any other credit cards. And sometimes it takes years after a foreclosed house to build your credit back up to where you can once again qualify. Well, China has taken this to a whole other level. The level of total control and totalitarianism through technocracy for every living being in the country. China's creepy social credit system analyzes internet shopping and social media use in order to blacklist lazy or wasteful citizens and allow those who behave well to borrow money. If you have a low rating, the government will ban you from buying a plane ticket or sending your child to a private school. It's what China calls a social credit system. How you behave in the Chinese society according to the government rules. They analyze your social habits and your online shopping purchases, and then they grant financial credit to citizens whose lifestyles are deemed to be more wholesome. If you get into debt, if you don't recycle, if you commit traffic offenses, you will be blacklisted and privileges will be taken from you. The social credit scheme will become mandatory in China in 2020. It's currently being tested in pilot schemes which have been rolled out through private financial companies. The most high profile of these is called Sesame Credit, which has been developed by Ant Financial and uses computer algorithms to score people from 350 to 950. Sounds a lot like our credit ratings in America. Sesame Credit rates people on factors including interpersonal relationships and consumer habits, including buying video games. It appears the authoritarian one-party state believes that someone who plays a PlayStation or an Xbox is an idle person. If you get a low rating, you're blacklisted, meaning you're unable to book a plane flight, you're prevented from renting or buying property, and you're unable to secure a loan or stay in a luxury hotel. One of the largest schemes currently operating is in Shanghai, where jaywalking, traffic violations, and skipping train fares can get you blacklisted. But that's not all. Citizens who do not visit their elderly parents or do not sort out their garbage into the appropriate recycling bins can also be penalized and effectively frozen out of the state. Businessman Ji Wen said that after he was blacklisted following a financial dispute in which he never paid a debt to a client who sued his company, he was then added to the Chinese Supreme Court's list of discredited people. Wen said, "It hurt my business. My clients didn't trust me. I didn't get much work." He was banned from going on a plane or a high-speed train, and he was unable to send his child to private school. Since October 2013, nearly 10 million people have been added to the same list. Xi was restricted from big purchases like buying property, vacation packages, and private school tuition for his child. Officials could impose a wide range of penalties by blocking Xi's personal ID card number, which is required in China for everything from boarding a flight to getting a social media account. This whole system is an Orwellian creation that is a precursor to Revelation chapter 13, where without the mark of the beast, no one will be able to buy or sell anything. China doesn't have a similar FICO scoring system like we do in the US, because most Chinese don't have a credit card, a mortgage, or other loans. So, on top of financial credit information, Chinese authorities are also looking at any other behaviors that might speak to someone's credit worthiness. They can claim it's all about credit worthiness, but in reality, it's about total control over everyone's life. There's a public database on the Credit China website for enterprises that catalogs things like administrative penalties or violating procedures when bidding for a government project. It also includes a red list, noting good behavior, such as filing taxes correctly and on time. This is all information that government agencies already collect, but it was not always shared with all levels of government. This massive amount of data will now be centralized for individuals and enterprises. Those with good credibility will be rewarded, and those without credibility will be punished. Dozens of cities are also testing their own social credit systems. The Shanghai government will record on social credit files behaviors such as jaywalking or not sorting out garbage into the appropriate trash cans. This dystopian society should be very worrisome and frightening to us in the West. When it happened to businessman Ji Wen, he said, "No one notified me that I was on the blacklist. Then court officials detained me, so I had to pay the fine." Xi is now off the blacklist. Lawyer Li Xiaolin was not given advance notice that he was blacklisted. In 2014, Li was sued for defamation and lost. A judge ordered Li to make an apology, which he submitted in writing in April 2015. 10 months later, when he was away on a work trip, he was blocked from buying a return flight home to Beijing. That's when he found out he was blacklisted. It took him another 3 weeks before an official told him why. The court said, "My apology was not sincere." I asked officials how they determined what is sincere. Eventually, Li wrote a second apology, and the court removed him from the blacklist in 2016. Then last year, he tried to get a credit card. "The bank denied my application," he said. "I figured out that the bank might still have my name blacklisted, and I was right." The bank updated its records the next day, but by that time, he'd spent almost a year to fully clear his name. Journalist Li Hu was sued in 2015 for reposting a message on social media. The court determined that the material was defamatory and ordered Liu to pay $1,400 compensation plus other fees. "I wired the money to the wrong account, so the court didn't get the money. No one there told me. Then the court put me on the blacklist." He corrected the mistake, but then the judge said the amount needed to be increased by at least $1,000. While authorities have every right to enforce legitimate court orders, Mei Wang, a senior China researcher for Human Rights Watch, said the penalties in both Li and Li Yu's cases were exacted in a manner that was wildly arbitrary and unaccountable. Already, in a simple blacklist system, people are having difficulties seeking redress. The social credit system gives a very powerful weapon to officials in a country with very unbalanced relations between citizens and the government, she said. For now, Liu is still on the blacklist, which the Chinese state media refers to as the list of Liaolei, or deadbeats. He is still trying to get off it. Liu said, "Basically, it's very hard to find information on how to resolve my case. I've only gotten this far because I have some contacts. With all technocracy, fascination and horror is just part of the kind of surveillance that is now in our government's grasp." What's being developed will allow the trustworthy to roam everywhere under heaven while making it hard for the discredited to take a single step. Online behavior will be a big part of what is monitored, and algorithms will be key to everything. One of the scheme's basic aims is to use a vast amount of data to create individual ratings, which will decide people's access or lack of it, to everything from travel to jobs. It would be foolish to assume none of this could happen here in the West, but the 21st century is not going to work like that. These days, credit reports and scores put together by agencies who reach into our lives is mind-boggling. They're used to judge job applications, threatening to lock people into financial problems. And in the midst of the great deluge of personal data that comes from our online lives, every sign points to these methods being massively extended. Personal data and its endless uses form one of the most fundamental issues of our time, which boils down to the relationship between the individual and power, whether exercised by government or private organizations. Free speech is not just what we can speak with our mouths, but what we write and communicate online as well. In America, that right is being censored dramatically by our major tech companies and social media platforms. The worst thing we could do is become complacent or apathetic about the right of free speech to be taken from us, especially with what we see going on in China. We know what eventually is coming here, but that doesn't mean we need to lay down and just let them roll over us. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Think about it. Hi, Steve here. I just want to briefly say one thing about this effort to really stifle free speech, especially conservative views, Christian views, and patriot views. I'm not the biggest patriot. I love my country and I love America because I was born here, and I really love the freedoms that we enjoy. But the efforts by the globalists, the leftists, the communists is really reaching a fever pitch. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want you to not know where to find me. Once they take my channel off YouTube, once they stop me from posting on Twitter or Facebook. In fact, let me mention two sites. One is gab.ai, G-A-B.ai. And that's one site where it's almost like a Twitter replacement, and I'm using it right now. And also there's minds.com, that's minds.com. And that's one you can use as a replacement for Facebook. So I recommend getting on there. I'm using both of those platforms right now, and I will probably end up moving completely off Twitter and Facebook because of their censorship and they're just utter, dislike of anybody who has another view other than the New World Order, the globalist view, the one world government. So I encourage you to get on those websites, but I also want to say how much I appreciate all of you so much for your support. Your financial support allows me to continue to make the videos, to continue to get the truth out, and I won't stop even if they shut me down. And I just want to mention that if that day comes very soon, and it could, I just want you to go to my website at thinkaboutit.online or thinkaboutit.news. Either one of those sites I plan on keeping up, and I will also post information on how you can find the videos. I don't know right now what platform I'll use. I know that Mike Adams is starting up or planning on starting up a brand new video channel, and I will probably use that platform. So anyway, stay tuned, but keep in touch with me through the website. I don't send out emails, I don't spam people, so I just want you to know that if there's ever a time when you can't find my videos or you can't find my channel on YouTube anymore, please go to the websites and find out where I'm at or where I will be very soon. Thanks again, all of my supporters. I really love you and I really appreciate you. And thanks for your financial gifts. If you're not able to give, just spread the videos. Please just send the links out, send the videos out to everyone you can. Thanks so much. I appreciate every one of you.